Victoria Justice, a famous person from Nickelodeon's heyday, has added to the scandal involving Dan Schneider, the powerful director of some of the network's most famous shows. Schneider is being looked at more closely after her recent comments, in which she talked about things that show a darker side of her time on set. Justice, who is known for her parts in Victorious and Zoe 101, said she thought Schneider was unfair to her, especially near the end of her time at Nickelodeon. Overall, she said her time at the network was mostly good because her mother was there to watch out for her. However, she said Schneider's big ego often got in the way of his judgment, which led to unfair treatment. Even so, she made it clear that her experiences were not sexual, which was different from what some of her friends said about Schneider, which was disturbing. Someone who used to be on Nickelodeon has spoken out against Schneider before. Drake Bell, another well-known person on the network, has made shocking claims about Schneider's inappropriate behavior in the past. These findings seem to have opened a Pandora's box, letting more former child stars talk about their terrible experiences. The scandal started when the documentary Quiet on Set came out and showed how many kid actors at Nickelodeon worked in a bad environment and were mistreated. Because of this documentary, Victoria Justice broke her silence and talked about her complicated connection with Schneider. While acknowledging his important part in her career, she expressed a mixed sense of gratitude, criticizing his bad behavior at the same time. But people had different responses to what Justice said. Many people said she was playing down Schneider's actions because it helped her career, and because her mother was on set with her, she felt safe. Others stood up for her, knowing how dangerous her job is in the business and recognizing her right to share her own story without putting other people's experiences down. Behind-the-scenes images of Justice and Schneider interacting in ways that many people found troubling added to the controversy. These videos and the stories of other former Nickelodeon stars painted a picture of a guy whose actions were often wrong and used others. Another Nickelodeon graduate, Lori Beth Denberg, told Schneider about her scary experiences. At first, Denberg saw him as someone who could protect her, but she soon found herself in awkward and dangerous situations. Schneider's rude comments and actions, including a very upsetting one involving a bet during a game of Jeopardy, showed a pattern of taking advantage of people while pretending to be a guide. Schneider's answer to these claims has been predictable. He has apologized in a general way while often denying specific claims. His efforts to change the story and even his lawsuit to stop the documentary show that he doesn't want to fully admit that he did wrong. Drake Bell made the most damning claims. He said that Schneider and other directors mistreated him badly. Together with the rising number of statements from other former Nickelodeon stars, Bell's testimony highlights a systemic problem of abuse and exploitation in the network during Schneider's time there. Even after these revelations, Schneider has not yet been given the full punishments that many people think he gets. The fact that he wasn't really held responsible for what he did shows a big problem with how the industry handles such major accusations. Victoria Justice's story is complicated and full of personal problems, but it is an important part of the ongoing story of how Nickelodeon treats its employees unfairly. Even though she got mixed responses for speaking out, it shows how important it is to talk about and recognize the darker sides of the entertainment industry's past. As more child stars come forward, it is hoped that their stories will lead to more accountability and changes in the business that will keep other kids from going through the same horrible things. As the story about Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon develops, it shows how important it is to make the workplace safer and more respectful for all performers, but especially for child players who are easily harmed.